So in this video, we're going to go over creating our door and window type legend. And so we'll come up here to the view tab, and we'll click legends, and then just pick the first legend, and we'll call it door and window legend, or we'll call it door and window types. And we'll choose 1 inch equals a foot for the scale. Hit OK. It'll open up this blank uh, legend, and then we can start adding legends components on the annotate tab under component. If we pick component, it'll bring up this drop down where we can add whatever window we want to use, and then what view it is, either the back of the window, the front, or the floor plan. So I'm going to pick this window sliding doubles 60 by 60. And I have my floor plan open, and I'm actually going to open my south elevation on my project browser, so I can also just double check to make sure I'm putting in the correct window. And yeah, it looks like that one. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check here. I'm going to take a dimension. So we can go up to annotate, align dimension, and I'm going to grab the level 1 floor line. And I'm just going to grab the top of the window to see what height it is. It looks like it's 8 feet. And the sill height is at 3 feet. So in my legend, I've got my window placed. I'm going to draw a detail line along the bottom. I'm going to put a dimension from here to the window sill, and make that 3 feet, and do the same thing to the top to make sure that I've got it set at 8 feet and 3 feet, because we'll call that information out here. That looks like it might be too small, so I'm going to change it to 1/2 inch equals a foot. And so we can see where our windows are. So I'm going to throw some more dimensions on here. And then we called this type 1. So I'm going to make this a window type 1. I'm going to add a piece of text underneath here just by going to annotate, text, 30 by 330 seconds Arial. And I'm going to make it centered aligned, and just pick and type 01. The next thing I'm going to do is go to detail line, and I'm going to create this tag that they are showing. So I'll pick the circumscribed or inscribed. It doesn't matter because we're not going to use a circle for our reference. And it is 6-sided. So I'm going to draw a tag around it so that it looks similar to the one that's on our plan. I'm going to select all these lines by hovering over the line, hitting tab once, and then picking. And then I'm going to just scale it down a little bit. Scale is found under the Modify tab. And then here next to the mirror, trim, and it's right above the trim extend multiple. And I'm going to do graphical scale, which means I'm going to pick one point, grab another, and just resize it. I'm going to create this into a group by selecting all of these lines and going up to the modified ribbon and picking this create group. And I'll call it window tag. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the text. I'm going to make it into a group also, but just temporarily, so that I can get this midpoint, and I'm going to move this midpoint to the center of this this symbol I just drew. So before I do that, though, I'm going to draw a line to get my center line, and I'll pick my group that I just made and go to move, get the center of the text, and then place it on the midpoint there of that line I just drew. Then I can delete the line and let's see. That was interesting. Did I explode the group? I'm going to move it there, and then I'm going to ungroup and then pick that line and delete it. So now I've got my window tag, and I'm just going to put it beneath the floor line. And then I can just go around the building creating all the different window types. Because in the other video we actually did, we tagged the doors and we made a schedule, the doors and windows. So we'll do the same thing here. So the second type is a window sliding double 96 by 60. So I'll come back over into my legend, hit component, and then look for that window, this 96 by 60. And then if I bring it up next to the other one, it'll lock in the location so that they'll be at the same location. You could see the lines when you move it. That it'll give you a dashed line so that you know you're aligned with the adjacent item. I'm going to pull this line over so I've got some more room to add the additional windows. Go up to Align Dimension on the Annotate tab and pick the sill. And I'm actually going to grab the top, the header, and then I'll throw another dimension here, and then do the same thing for the width. You can see the dimensions will lock into each other. I'm going to delete this dimension I placed previously and add it to this one by selecting the dimension and then going to Edit Witness Line and coming up here and picking the top of the window. And I can copy over that symbol we just made and put it underneath. And then we'll name it 2. There's several different ways to do these window legends, but for this exercise, we'll just do it this way. There's another way where we can make our windows actually into components so that we can create views and then we can place them that way. But I'm not going to do that for this project. So our next window is a casement, double 48 by 60. So I'll go back up to Annotate, Component, look for window. So window casement 48 by 60. And I'm just going to double check to make sure I've got the right window. And it appears that I do. So I'll go Align Dimension, grab our floor line that we made. And we will then place it. You can add the dimension and then select the window. Did it snap? Here we go. So I didn't snap quite right. And so now we know we've got it at the right height. I'm going to add another dimension for the top. And then we'll give our width dimension. If you move your dimension up, you see it'll lock into the adjacent dimension. And then we can copy over this final window tag and then call it window 3. also going to add a piece of text here. And I'm going to call this finish floor. So on my window, my house, I have a another story. So I'm going to open up my second plan, and I'm going to just check to see what windows there are up there. So I'm going to go to annotate, tag by category, and it looks like this is window 3. I'm going to uncheck the leader, window 4, and another window 3. So I'm going to add window 4. So window 4 is a 72 by 60 sliding window. So copy over our tag, call it 04. And we'll go to annotate, legend component again. And it's a sliding window, and I forgot the size. It is 72 by 60. So come back over here, legend component, and then pick this 72 by 60. Get them aligned, and then we'll add our dimensions. Hit MV to move. Kind of center the tag up. Go to annotate, align, dimension, pick the sill. Pick the head of the window. I'm going to align this window since I didn't get it aligned. And yep, it's the 3 feet. So I'm going to pick the last, give it an overall height, dimension the width, and then there's our window types. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm actually going to window over all of our windows and then copy them up to make our door schedule. Or our door types. So I'm going to delete these dimensions since they will not be the same on the doors, obviously. So I'll select this window. And let's see, this door is an exterior single entry half arch glass, wood clad, 36 by 90. So that is, we can scroll up when we go to pick our window, go to doors, and find the door we're looking for. And it was the 36 by 90 window. I'm going to use the align tool here to align it to the bottom. And then I'm going to throw a dimension on here. And then we'll have to change our tag here. So I'm going to delete this tag and then make a pill-shaped tag, just like we did for the other one. So if I go to the annotate and then pick detail lines, I can draw the tag. So I just copied the line that I drew down. I'm going to come up here to annotate again, detail line, do circle or arc. So I'm going to do start, end, and radius arc. Start, end, and then give it a radius. I'm going to select the circle I just drew, Actually, before I do that, I'm going to change the text to ext-1. And that looks like it'll be big enough. I'm going to select this half circle, this arc that I just drew, and I'm going to mirror. I'm going to draw the axis, so the second one over here, and I'm going to go from the center and draw down, and it mirrored along the axis that I drew. I'm going to select all these lines and then go up to the Modify tab and hit Group, and I'm going to create a group, and I'm going to call it Door Tag. And then we'll do the same process for the rest of these doors. So I'm going to delete the rest of these windows. So this next one is the 15 by 996 arch glass door. So it'll be the side lamp. I'm going to copy the tag over. Actually, I'm going to copy this door over as well. And I can just go and change it to the side light 15 by 96. And align it to the same place. Go to the annotate, align dimension, and pick the top there. And continue to dimension all these doors out. So you can go around. I got a double exterior door here. So this is a double exterior, double full glass wood clad door. So I can copy this door over and do the same thing. Come up here, double. You see it kind of went below what I'm using as my floor line. And so I can go to the Modify tab, hit Align, pick the floor line, and move our door up. Go back to the Annotate tab, hit Align Dimension, and then throw some of the dimensions on this door. I better rename this one to Exterior 1.1. Because I believe that is what the door type was. Yep. And this will be exterior door 3. So I'll copy this one over. Actually, I'm going to move this one a little bit closer, just so they're tighter together. I'm going to move this tag so it's more centered under the door. Hit CC or CO for copy. And then I'll call this exterior 2. Copy this door over. And then I'll make it this 36 by 96 half flat glass. I'm going to go to the north elevations to check this door out. Yep, and that looks like the right one. Probably add some materials to that so it looks like the others. But I'm not super worried about that right now. Copy, move this underneath, called exterior 3. And looks like it's lined up with the bottom. I'm going to change these lines to hidden, just so they showed up dashed. And I'm going to throw dimensions on here as well. And I think the last but not least is our garage door. So we can copy over this door. And let's see. What was our garage door called? 216 by 84. Door garage embossed. We might have to extend our floor line out just so we can catch it. Hit move to move it over a bit. Let's copy over our tag. And we'll throw some dimensions on here as well. So it looks like 9 feet is what it wants to be. And let's see. All right, so the next thing we'll do, I'm going to go ahead and close this door and window types. I'm going to go to my project browser. I'm going to select it in the project browser and then drag it onto our sheet. Looks like it might be too big for our sheet in its current condition. So I'm going to reduce the scale a little bit. Oops, I went the wrong direction. So that it fits on our sheet better. I'm gonna move it down towards the bottom, and then we're gonna edit our schedule. So let's move our schedules up. I'm gonna move this over a bit more. And then I'm going to open up our schedule. So let's go back to the project browser. Then under schedules, let's see, schedules. So let's just start with the exterior door schedule. I'm going to move it over here to this side. And I'm going to add some additional fields in here. So let us add thickness. Let's see. Frame type, frame material. Construction type. Let's add a count as well. Let's add a head height and a level. Some of these we might remove. We're just getting them on here to kind of see what information that we want to add to the door. So that tell us the door thickness, frame type, material. We can enter that information later. And now let's organize our schedule here a little bit. So I'm actually going to let's see. Organize it a little bit different. So if I'm in the schedule, I can edit the fields, and I'm going to remove level. because I don't have any doors on. Oh, no, I'm going to leave level, and I'm actually going to move level up because I have some door. I'm potentially going to have doors up above. So I'm going to level, type mark, width, thickness, and I'm going to move the head height to before the frame type, and then I'm going to I think I'll leave the count at the end. Actually, I'm going to move the count next to type mark. So I've got level, which you don't need if you only have a single level. Type mark, count, width, height, thickness, head height, frame type, frame material, and construction type. We might add some more. Oh, let's add a finish as well. And I'm going to move finish up underneath the frame material. And I think that'll be good for now. We'll hit OK, and then it'll adjust our schedule. I'm going to go to this other interior door schedule. So I'm going to go over here to the project browser. I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to add those same categories. I'm going to just zoom out a little bit here so I can see all the categories. If I select the schedule on the sheet, I can actually stretch out the boxes so that they're displaying correctly. You can also do that in the schedule itself as well. You can see if I stretch it over here, it will adjust it on the schedule on the sheet. I'm going to go back to my interior door schedule, go to fields, and I'm going to add level, and then I'm going to move it up since I know where I want it here. So we got width, height, thickness will be next under T. I'm going to move that down. What else? I got head height. And frame. I think it's frame type next. Frame material. We'll add finish and construction type. Hit OK. And we can see it'll update our schedule to the same categories that we chose. And I'm going to stretch this out a little bit. Which one are we missing here? Count. So I'll go back into the schedule, and I'm going to add count. I'll move that up to be right after the type mark, so we can see the quantity of doors that they're going to need. Let's just stretch this out to be close to what the schedule is above. And then we'll do the same thing for the window schedule. So here I'll go to fields. I'm going to add the level because I do have windows above the top plate level. Add count after type mark. And if you select it, whatever one you select, it'll put it in next. So then I'm going to add head height. I'm going to add another one for sill height on the windows. Doors, it's assumed that the sill height would be the same as the level. Head height, so we got frame type. Looks like that is not an option for the window schedule. That's okay. I'm not super worried about that either, because it's information you'd put in vinyl windows, or you'd put in wood, composite windows, or aluminum windows. So that information we're not really getting. So this is more just so that we know how to add additional fields and understand the different kind of things that are going to be added to our schedules. Yeah, so what else? Do we have finish? And we could actually add those different categories to our windows as well too, but I'm not going to do that. I think that'll be good for that. Hit OK, and you can see it adjusted our windows. Now see here, this window 3 occurs on multiple levels. So to fix that, I'm going to go over here to sorting and grouping, and I'm going to sort by level first and then by type mark. So what that's going to do is it's going to create the first row, it's going to sort it by level, and then the next row it's going to sort it by type mark. So you hit OK, and now you can see that we have 2 window 3s at the level 1, and then 2 window 3s at the top plate level. Alrighty, so, and that's pretty much it for the windows. Well, later on down the road, we could fill out this information for the frame type. You also want the hardware, so like the type of doors. So like maybe bedroom doors would just get a non-keyed lock, and this you'd have to specify what type of handles and everything, and you would find that all in the schedule. But for this exercise, we're not going to put all that information here. So for the rest of this, so for this week, I'll show you what I would like you to turn in. So we can get an example here. I'm just going to close out these things. So in the other video, we created our wall types and our door and window schedule. So you can hit print, close, change it to Bluebeam. Make sure you set up in this session, you change it to your 24 by 36. Don't forget to zoom to 100% size. Hit OK. And then to print multiple sheets, hit selected views and sheets, and then hit select. Check none. Uncheck views so that we're only seeing the sheets, and then we can select both of the 501 and 500 sheets that we created this week. Hit OK. And I don't want to save these for future. Basically, it would save like a selection set. I'm going to combine it into a multiple selected views and sheets, so we get one. Yeah, we'll do that. And then hit OK. Now it's going to print our sheets. And let's see. So we can name it we just call it wall types and schedules. And hit save. Now it'll be good to open up the PDF. It should be default to open automatically. But before you ever turn anything in, and before you give anything to your boss or clients, always good to open it up, look, and make sure that it's actually readable and that everything you have is on there. It's to scale. That it's the right sheet size. That'll tell you that at the bottom on Bluebeam. And just take a quick gander at it and just make sure that it looks like it's supposed to. And it does. I can see a couple things that I want to clean up. Don't want the wipeout for the text to go over these tags, but that's okay. Got our schedules, got our doors and windows, and we'll call that good. And we just close that, and then you can turn that in on Moodle. I'll also put this up as an example so that you can open it up and look at it. All right, that's it for this video. Please let me know if you have any questions or need any help or assistance, as always. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.